This is my #1 favourite Chengdu street snack. Hi everyone, it's Tasha and welcome to another recipe video. And today we are going to be making Guo Kui. It's a super crisp, multi-layered flatbread that's stuffed with spiced ground meat. Timestamps are down below in the description if you want to skip straight ahead to the making of it. Otherwise stick around if you quite like my preamble, if so thank you. And also to learn a little bit about the recipe we're making. This is a really popular street food snack in Sichuan province, although I mostly see it when I go to Chengdu. And ever since I first tasted it when I first went to visit my husband and his family out there, I've been obsessed. The ingredients themselves are relatively simple. The dough is literally just flour and water. It's rolled out thinly and then spread with a thin layer of ground beef or pork. In this case I'm going to be making it with beef. Sometimes they use it with a mixture, and then plenty of Sichuan peppercorns and chilli oil to make it mala, that is spicy and numbing. Rolled up, flattened out and then fried until crisp, and then an extra step, popped into an oven to get it even crispier. Now they use a pretty special oven, at least the ones that are made properly. It's sort of a pit with the fire in the middle, and then once they fry up the Guo Kui on their shallow flat frying pan thing, they actually put it inside the oven but sort of stuck around the sides at the bottom. Not really stuck, more like propped up, and the Guo Kui are standing up around the sides of the oven, and then it's closed, and then that's how they are kept hot and fresh, while also giving them a bit of extra crispness. And every single time I go to Chengdu I must have one. Since they're not a thing here in the UK, that meant that in between times that I went back to Sichuan province to see family, I had to learn how to make them here, which thankfully it was quite easy to do. You can see the first recipe that I actually published, that I was happy enough to publish with, was back in 2017, and I've been making them like that ever since. It's quite reliable. Now I have actually made a recipe video for this before. While I published the written recipe in 2017, I think it was, I made one of my quick 1 or 2 minute sped up videos 2020 I think. The only problem with my quick sped up recipe videos is most of them suffered from the same problem, and that was people watching them were asking, where are the ingredients, where are the quantities, how long do I cook it for? Little disclaimer, I always did and always continue to put the link to the full written recipe in the description, but I don't really blame people for asking and not reading it, because especially on mobile, YouTube makes it very inconspicuous, like the little more drop down is so small. Most people miss that there's actually more information in the description of the video. I think a lot of people don't even realise a description exists. I really miss earlier iterations of YouTube's UX because it was so much more user friendly. So yes, that was a common problem with my sped up videos back then. No one actually realised I was actually including the full recipe every time. It's just YouTube was hiding it. Even now sometimes though, I'll do a proper full length recipe video and occasionally someone will still ask, how long do you bake it for? I literally say so, and I put the little drop down text in the video too. If you missed that, then I'm afraid I can't help you with. Anyway, back to Guo Kui. If you remember in the recipe video that I made before this, we are also going to be using a bit of what we made in there too. So with all that said, let's go to the kitchen and see how it's done. We're going to start by making our dough. Here I have 300 grams of plain flour, and I'm going to add 170 milliliters of boiling hot water. And I'm going to stir this, and then when it comes together into a dough, I'm going to knead it with my hands until it's smooth. Now our dough is nice and smooth, but it's a little bit tense and a little bit stressed because we've activated the gluten, so I'm just going to wrap it up in some cling film, and I'm going to set it aside just to have a bit of a rest while we do the next bit. Now let's deal with our filling. Here we have 200 grams of lean beef mince, and do you remember the lovely Sichuan chili oil we made in our last video? We're going to use a tablespoonful of that. I'm going to add it straight into the bowl. I'll link the recipe up above and in the description, but you can also buy your own chili oil from the supermarket. And we're also going to add 1.5 tablespoonfuls of roughly ground Sichuan peppercorns. And for extra richness and flavour, about a tablespoonful of toasted sesame oil. Now here I have 1 spring onion, which I've chopped up finely, 3 chunky cloves of garlic, also chopped up finely, and about a 2 centimetre cube of peeled ginger, which I've also chopped very finely. So let's dump these in now. And finally we're going to add 1 teaspoonful of ground salt. Let's give this a good old mix up. Now that we've mixed it well, I'm actually going to divide it into 6 portions because we're going to be making 6 Guo Kui. And now comes the fun part. We're going to divide the dough into 6 portions too. But it's also going to be a bit messy because we're going to drizzle a little bit of our toasted sesame oil straight onto our work surface. Give this a little bit of a roll around. Now let's take a dough ball. Still keeping them covered because I don't want them to dry up. And now let's make it the way they make in Chengdu. I'm going to make it a long roll this way. There we go. Now I'm going to take a portion of our mincemeat and I'm going to spread it all over. Now I'm going to roll it up from this way. And then what they do is they simply pat it down. And now for the final touch, some sesame seeds. So I'm just going to coat both the front and the back, the top and the bottom rather. If you can be really precise about it, then try and get them in the centre. I'm not that precise about it, I just stick them wherever. And that is one gorgeous Guo Kui. I'm just going to set it on a plate, which I've prepared with a little bit of baking parchment. I have 6 of these actually that I cut out because I'm going to stack them up on the plate just to keep them together. Let's keep going. This time I'm going to do the method that I usually use myself, because the way I like to do it is I like to double roll them so they're even more layers. You don't have to do this though, so the way I do this is this time I'm going to roll it this way. Doesn't matter really. Last time I rolled it that way because I don't have that much space. I have the toaster right there. Let's fill it up again. We're going to roll it up this way, so the same cigar type shape. Now I'm going to put it this way, and I'm going to roll it again this way. You can use the pulling method very gently, or you can keep rolling, again, whichever gets it done. We're going to roll it up again. And this creates even more flaky layers. And now we're going to turn it this way, and similarly to last time, just pat it down. And we're going to put it on our plate. Now, if you remember my chopstick test when I was making chili oil last time, same thing, put a wooden chopstick in. If it fizzes after just a second or under a second, not too violently, just like this, you are ready to fry. And now I'm going to very carefully drop a Guo Kui in. Fry it for about a minute or 2 until both sides are golden. It's been 2 minutes, give it a little flip. And cook for another couple of minutes. Don't worry about any bald spots, by the way, this is going in the oven afterwards. We're going to fish it out. And remember, this is only the first session of cooking. And I'm going to pop it onto a lined baking sheet. And we're going to put this in the oven in a minute. Let's do its brothers first. When you're on your last Guo Kui, then preheat the oven to 180 degrees C. That's our last Guo Kui, all nice and fried up, but these aren't quite done yet, like I said. We're going to pop them in the oven and they're going to become extremely crisp. So let's pop these in the oven, probably just for about 8 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes. See how you go after 5, but yeah, around 8 minutes. Listen to that sizzle. Okay, let's give these a little bit of a cooling down, maybe 5 minutes, because they are red hot at the moment. We still want them to eat them hot, but not this hot, so give them a little bit of a cool. These smell amazing, and I have not eaten lunch yet, so I am very eager to tear into one. Let's cut one open. And listen to the crunchiness. Oh, lovely. It's the perfect amount of still a bit of warm. This is the same dilemma I always have when I'm in Chengdu and I'm handed a fresh Guo Kui. I just want to bite straight into it, give it a couple of minutes because they are hot, as with anything that's just come out of boiling hot oil. But yeah, after 4 or 5 minutes they're quite safe to handle, but still nice and warm. This one was just for the thumbnail, so I'm going to put this down. I'm going to pick up the one that I cut. Had a much nicer spiral, this one. And I'm going to take a bite, so cheers. That makes me so happy. Little bit spicy, little bit numbing. Not too spicy though, actually the majority of the punch comes from the Sichuan peppercorns. That's wonderful. In fact, I'm going to wrap up now and just eat this because I am starving. Making lunch when you're not filming hits different than when you are, because obviously when you're filming you have to keep pausing and to do things and make sure everything's in the shot, reshooting if I didn't get something in the shot. I'm so glad I can make these at home so I don't have to wait a year or every 2 years to go back to China to eat them. The experience, of course, eating one in China is infinitely better. I maintain that you won't be able to get 100% authenticity of any dish unless you're making it where it is, because all of the sights and sounds and smells that you're experiencing while you're eating the dish all contribute to your experience. But since I'll have to wait until next year to get my Guo Kui fix in actual Chengdu, these will do very well. So there you go, Chengdu Guo Kui. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's recipe video and I hope you'll join me next Wednesday for my next one. Get the full written recipe on my blog tashcakes.com, follow me on Instagram, I'm tashcakes.tastes, and find me on TikTok too, I'm tashcakes there too, but my handle is food in slow motion. Subscribe and hit the notification bell if you'd like to see more, give this video a like if you'd like to help other people find it, comment down below if you'd like me to make anything in particular, and I will see you all next time. Be good, be nice, and have a good week. I'm absolutely covered in sesame seeds.